Where do we go when we sleep? You ever think about that? I'm Jimmy Rance, and I want to talk about that in a minute, but I want to say a couple things first. We have our favorite restaurant poll going on right now. We're getting ready to wrap up the second half of our favorite restaurant poll question. And we've already had the first half. Olive Garden won and Chick-fil-A won. You guys voted those two in. Well, right now we're voting on the second half, and it's going to close out here pretty soon. And then what we're going to do is, whenever we're through with today's poll question, we're going to go back and take a look at the last half winners. And we're going to take all four of those winners and we're going to put them together. And tomorrow you'll vote on who you think is the best overall restaurant for this second half. And whoever comes in first and second will be joined in the final with Olive Garden and Chick-fil-A. And I know you just couldn't wait for me to say that. Are you guys bored with the poll questions? It seems like we used to have like 100, 120, 150, 200 people. But it seems like it's slowed down a little bit. Is that because you guys don't like them? You're bored with them? I think they're kind of fun. Gives us something to do. You don't have to do nothing except read the poll question and just pick, whatever answer that you think. I'll tell you something. I've been having a lot of fun lately. I've discovered thumbnails. Yeah, thumbnails. And it's a lot of fun. I showed my daughter the other day. I said, here, what do you think of this thumbnail? Check this out. And what it was, it's a picture of an actual Spooky Town village that I made. It's kind of like a toxic environment. And so there's a picture of me shrunk down and then kind of put into this little toxic little town called Wasteland Pub. And on the side of me are these two girls. Now, I think one of them's got their hand here and another one's got a hand here. Like I'm something suave or something, And my daughter just goes, God, Dad, they're so young. And I didn't really think about it, but I said, yeah, I guess they are kind of young, huh? I mean, not that young. I don't know. They might be in their early 30s. I don't know. Well, hell, I'm only almost 72. What's wrong with that? I don't know. Where do we go when we sleep? You ever think about that? Even Paul one time said in the Bible, I die daily. I wonder if that could have anything to do with anything. I doubt it. But it's just kind of fun to think about. I die daily. Whenever you go to sleep, it's like you teleport yourself to somewhere else. Well, wherever that somewhere else is, what is that? Where really are we? Are we really somewhere? Really, are we somewhere? I know we call it, oh, it's just a dream. Really? So you go to sleep and all of a sudden you are literally living. We call it a dream, but we're actually living almost in another dimension. Now, some people may call that dimension the astral plane. If you look on my thumbnail, you'll see I've got the astral plane, and I think I've got on there something about the astral plane is kind of like, in certain circles, the astral plane is kind of like the garbage can of the universe. So whenever we go to sleep, maybe we teleport, or whatever word you want to use, we zoom on off and we go to this other world. I remember one time, no joke, in college, this college professor said the reason that we sleep is to dream, because psychologically when we dream, that's where we really take care of a lot of our emotional baggage, our emotional problems. We handle and deal with our stress there because I guess maybe that's like an ego defense mechanism. It helps us to get through. One time I was thinking about this. One time I had a dream. And I'm sure probably a lot of you have these kind of dreams. But I must have really was into this dream. And this was at a time when I was kind of financially struggling in my younger life, trying to get things together. And I had a dream, and all I remember is in the dream, I was so happy. I was so relieved, but I had like this big old briefcase, and it was just stuffed with stacked $100 bills. You open up that briefcase and it was just money galore, $100 bills stacked on top of each other. And I was so happy. I felt so relieved. I remember in that dream. And then whenever I woke up, I was looking for just a few seconds. I was looking for that briefcase. And I couldn't find it. And then I just kind of got my thoughts together. Went, oh my God, I'm dreaming. I'm dreaming. No, I don't want to be dreaming. I need this to be real. But it was just a dream. I don't know. Where in the heck do we go when we dream? Because I sure ain't here. I'm off somewhere else. Am I in that astral plane? Am I in the trash can of the universe? Am I trying to deal with stuff that I can't deal with here on this physical earth? So whenever I go to sleep, whatever it is that makes me who I am, whether you want to call it a soul, a conscience, or whatever, does that leave my body and I go somewhere and I'm living that dream? But that dream is like a real life. I die daily, Paul said. I don't know. I'm sure y'all will say, no, he meant that. Because if you listen to what Habakkuk said in whatever, and then somebody else in the Bible said, Methuselah said this, you know, y'all like to carve the square peg to fit the round hole. I got it. But you know, really, I don't know. I don't know where we go whenever we sleep, but it sure is kind of interesting to think about it. We all dream. I don't remember my dreams, Jimmy. Well, that's because you're a dingbat. But you still dream. I guarantee you, you dream. Scientifically, you dream. You may not recall it, but you do dream. What about this? Long time ago, I don't know why I keep coming back to this, but obviously it's kind of important to me. I don't know, not important to me, but it's kind of just interesting to me. This is a scenario, and then I'm going to wrap this up, okay? I'm just trying to figure out how I want to present this. Let's say, now this, I don't know. I've heard people talk about stuff like this. I listened to a video today where this young lady was talking about somebody that was in a coma. And I guess they were in this dream state and they had a family and everything. And then whenever they kind of, I guess, came out of the coma, they didn't have a family. Maybe they were kind of distraught about that. Well, what about this? What about this? You go to sleep and you do your little, you're gone. You're gone to this astral plane or whatever. You go to this dream world. And in this dream world, I'm going to use myself as an example, okay? So I go to sleep and zap, I'm gone, baby. And now all of a sudden I'm in a whole nother world and I am living another alternate life, but in another world. Maybe this trash can in the universe. I don't know where I'm at. I don't know really that I have another life, that I'm in bed sleeping, because I'm up here in dreamland, man. And I'm with another person, say another lady. And I have a life with this lady. And it's a wonderful life. And I cherish this life. And this lady loves me and I love her. And I love being in this situation with this lady. It's like living a real life with a real person that I really care about. And then after the dream's over with, or whatever you call it, bam, I wake up and I miss that person in the dream. I don't want that dream to end because I want to be up there with this lady that loves me and I love her. But I'm stuck down here and I can't wait. I hope that I can go back to sleep and maybe I can zap off again and get back in my dream. Have you ever had that experience before? What is that? What is that? What causes that? Where do we go whenever we sleep? It's a fair question. Okay? Was the psychologist or the psych professor right? That we sleep to dream because that's the way we handle problems. We can't handle them here on earth, so we got to zap our mind, our thoughts, our consciousness, our soul, whatever you want to call it, that invisible part of us that we don't really understand and know about, but it's gone. We're somewhere else. And when we are somewhere else, it is like it is real. You know that when you dream, it feels real, don't it, folks? Where do these dreams come from? Where do you go when you sleep? Do you go anywhere, or is it that's just the way I'm thinking? It's very interesting. I'd like to know your thoughts. Don't worry about if people think you're a maniac or crazy or a nut job just because you want to get on here and make a comment. Maybe you want to share some wild, far-fetched dream. Keep it clean, though, okay? Keep it clean. Okay, guys, I'm going to let you go. I just wanted to run that by you. Where do we go when we're asleep? Really appreciate you guys being here, and we'll chit-chat a little later on. I'm Jimmy Rance.